Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf from IT Visualizer channel. They will continue our lab, the matrix labs, the video number 85. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have started talking about the topic of troubleshooting using the event viewer. We have seen a couple of things concerning the event viewer, the components of the event viewer, some of the PowerShell commandlets we can use to extract information from the event viewer, and some third-party freeware that you can use to view events concerning your operating system. So the event viewer is the default or built-in program used for viewing events concerning the operating system, but there is third-party software that can view these events better than the event viewer. They are more easy, they are more practical in use. So we have stopped the last time at minute 16:13. We can see here this is the website of Nearsoft. This is a website that contains a lot of useful programs that you can use to troubleshoot. One of them are the program concerning the viewing of the event viewer providers. You can see what DLL files or what programs are responsible for recording events in the event viewer from your operating system. So we know the program, we have downloaded in the previous video, something called event viewer providers. You can just open the program and it will scan for the DLL files that are responsible for recording events in your operating system. There is a lot of useful programs also in this website. Some of them are forensic tools. You can use it to investigates who has already shut down a PC, who has logged into a PC. A lot of useful programs I will discuss later. I'll try to make a separate video for all of the tools concerning Nearsoft because they are very useful. Anyway, we will continue today from what we have from the point we have stopped the last time. There is another two useful programs that you can use from this website, which also is good in viewing the events. We will see how we can use a couple of programs from this website to see the channels in the event viewer, and see the events through, or the events under these channels. We all know that in the event viewer we will see some categorization of the events. These are called channels. So for example, we have something called the security channel. This contains the security events. The system channel, this is for the operating system events. The application channel, this is for the programs or applications installed on the operating system, the errors concerning the applications installed over the operating system, third-party software. And there is a lot of channels. These are the most important three. We can see, for example, there is a channel for the DNS, there is a channel for the PowerShell commandlets, or recording what PowerShell commandlets run under the operating system. So there is a lot of channels. There is software in Nearsoft that will display these channels, and if you want to go through each channel and see the events in this channel in details, there is another program to view the events concerning each channel. We will see how we can combine the two so we can get the most out of them. So let's wait and see these two programs. And by the way, they are better in viewing the channels and events than the event viewer. In the event viewer, it's a little bit complex. You cannot copy any error easily to search in the internet, but through these two programs we can do that. So let's see these two programs. So for example, there is a couple of tools. Maybe this one is shutdown performance view. We have boot performance view. We have seen this event viewer log providers, or event log providers. Of course, there is also some programs like Lost My Password. He will scan for passwords in all of your operating system, maybe for popular programs like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, some email, password of your email. So all of these dial up VPN. So this is a custom program to run and get such info. We can see this is mostly for forensic investigation. but it is very very good. We can see here, for example, that Mr. Love and Paul saying about the trace logs. We all know that there is two types of logs. There is the trace log which end with extension ETL, and there is the event logs which end with the extension of EVTX. He's saying that the trace logs are grouped into two categories. Analytic events are published in high volume. They describe program operation and they get problems that cannot be handled by user intervention. Debug events are used solely by developers to diagnose a problem for debugging. Note the debug channel is disabled by default. There is two kind of trace logs, and they are categorized, or they, I think there are in two channels in the event viewer, analytical and debug. Okay, so this is the trace logs, and actually we'll not use it that much. We will focus on the event logs, not the trace logs. Okay, you can open them in the event viewer. We'll see how we can do that. So here I'm just checking if there is any abnormal activity in my laptop, because I think maybe opening this event or these programs can take some resources from my PC. Anyway, we can see here that trace logs can be viewed by the event viewer or some programs, like for example this program, I think it's called Windows Performance Analyzer. You can open trace logs using this program. So he's talking about trace logs. Application and hardware driver deployment or development can be viewed with the following tools. So trace logs can be viewed by WPA, Windows Performance Analyzer, SVC, TraceView, WPP, Software Tracing, Kernel Mode Drivers, Event Tracing for Windows, ETW, Windows Event Viewer, PowerShell. So all of these are programs they can use to see the trace logs. Okay. So now I have seen this event log providers program. This is the program, everything that can search for the ETL files. So for example, here's an ETL file. I will choose the one concerning my boot. So there is a trace log for my boot performance. I need to open it and see if there is any errors concerning my boot process. Okay, so we will go further down and you will see, for example, there is an ETL file concerning my boot performance or my Wi-Fi. Here we can see a lot of ETL files. This is one for Windows Update, for example. Okay, we will copy, or I will try to open this ETL file in the event viewer. So I will open the event viewer and try to see this file. We open administrative tools and then we open the event viewer. And then I try to open it to see the ETL file. So we will just right click on application and services, open saved log, and then I try to open this file. Normally you cannot see ETL files in the or it's not displayed in the event viewer. You need to go and open it manually, and after open it manually it is converted from ETL to EVTX. So we'll see now when we open one of these files. Here we can see that classic analytical debug events. So these are the two types of trace logs. Analytical and debug events are easier to navigate and manipulate when converted to the new event log format. You'd like to create a new event log copy now. So we will see two type of events in the trace log: the analytical, which was described in Mr. Lovandelpour slide, and the debug. Okay, these two are in ETL file. He is saying that he can change them from ETL to EVTX because this is easier for him to view. Okay, so we will convert it to EVTX, and we can see now there is another tab, saved logs, and now we can see Here is are the logs. Okay, we can see it's not an easy way to manipulate or work with these logs. You cannot copy it easily. Okay, you can see some warnings, you can see a lot of things, but we cannot see here any data, or we cannot copy any data. If you go to details, maybe you can get something like this kind of data, which is not that easy to comprehend or to explain. We can see here is our, or here are the error. This is the PC, but I think you can ask AI tools to explain something like that. Anyway, so this is how we can view the ETL files. And now another thing, event logs, binary files, primary located. So he's saying trace logs. We have already finished the trace logs. They are analytical and debug. Now we go to the event logs, which in extension EVTX, they are binary files located in one location, which is when EVT logs. Okay, events are organized into channels. Okay, we will see this program that will give us the channels concerning the event viewer. If I first, let me show you how we can download the two programs. We have event log channels view and full event view program. We will see that the two will help us very, it will help us in to see the events. For example, if I open the event viewer, let me open it. So these are called channels. We have seen these are called channels. Okay, and they are, this is the most famous channels here. There is a lot of famous channels. If you go to the application, this is channel, called the channel, a categorization of the events. Okay, I don't know why they do not call it category, why they are calling it channels. Okay, so this is the application channel. We have the security channel, we have hardware events, Internet Explorer, key management service. So there is a lot of channels through the event viewer. Okay, it's like categorization of the events. If we continue with the video, let's continue. So we will not view these channels through the event viewer. We will take another programs. We can see there is a lot of program utilities, for example, password utilities, system utilities, browser tools, programmer tools, network tools, office tools. You can load all of these tools in the 64-bit download. And there is forensic tools. There is a lot of useful information, very useful. We will see that. I'll try to discuss it in a separate video. So we'll continue. You need to go and download two programs. Okay, one is called event log channel views and full event log view. Okay, this is a way to view the events, okay, in a simple format. Okay, we will combine the two, the channels and the full view, event view, combine them both so we can get the most out of them. Okay, so we'll download the 64-bit version. So we'll save the program. And event log channels, and we will see how the two we can use to view channels and their content, or the content of the channels, or the events in the channel. So we have the 64-bit version. We can download the two and save. Now we will put both programs in one folder. Okay, we will put the zip files of the two programs in one folder because we want to integrate both. We will see what I mean by integration between the two, but first we need to create a folder. Okay, and put both of these zip files for these two programs in that folder and extract them, and then we will run them and we will see they will be integrated. First I will create a folder. This is the channels. This is the one for the channels, and the other is for the full event log. Okay, we'll create a folder. Now we'll say event uh, near soft combined, because we will combine both programs in one. Okay, so we will extract them in this folder. Now we can go to the folder. Then we will extract the folder. And the same we will do with the fall event. We will extract it to the same folder, but actually I don't need to extract them everyone in a folder. I need to put all of the files in the parent folder, okay, or in the main folder, okay. Okay, so we'll see now that I will need to do extra step to get all of the files in one folder. We can see there is two subfolders. I will take all of the content and put them in the parent folder, okay. We are doing this so we can combine both programs to work together. We will see what I mean by this. We can replace the readme file if you need. Sorry guys. So now we can remove the programs. Now we will open the first one, which is event log channel view. Okay, this is Mr. Lo van der Poel saying how we can do this. So I will open the event log channel view. I'll try to get both programs to work in my virtual environment. So I try to run both programs on my primary domain controller in our matrix lab, which is DCSM0125. This is the primary domain controller. I try to run both programs on it. So this is the primary domain controller, and this is the additional domain controller. This is my domain admin account. Let me do something here, because I have already done something here. I have already feed the ChatGPT with the two PDFs or PDF from Mr. Lo van der Poel. Let's ask him, give me alternative programs to view event logs in Windows from the PDF. So as we can see, I have already fed him up with the PDF of Mr. Lo van der Poel. We can see Event Log Explorer. This is, I think, I didn't see this program before. And we can see now we have full event log, Nearsoft, event log channels view, also for Nearsoft, displays Windows event in a table format, support local and remote computers. This is also one thing, good thing. You can more remotely see event of remote servers. Just giving him the computer. We have event log channels view, Nearsoft. It tells me about all event channels. Enable actions like enabling, disabling channels. We'll see that in a moment. Clearing event and setting file size or the maximum size for the logs. Event log source view. Viewed all event log source installed. Not event log source. I think this is for not event log source. Event log provider. Okay. I don't see that sources. Okay, this is not event log source, event log provider. Okay, Graylog. Okay, open source tool for centralized log management. Okay, this is one but for centralized collection of logs. Okay, stack. This is a couple of programs for centralized logging and analyzation. Check, make, monitor error logs from syslogs and other log files. Logi, cloud-based log manager with real-time insights and dashboards, simplifies log aggregation and filtration. Octopussy focus on network devices and support the syslog protocol, offers email alerts and visual log representation. Sentinel agent. Okay, this is the first PDF, and the second PDF I have already given him a couple of programs. Sysmonitor, app locker logs. Okay, but these are the logs. This is the program. App locker logs, Windows Event Defender logs, PowerShell logs. So this is a couple of log locations. PowerShell logs, Go access a terminal-based log analyzer for quick and real-time log analysis. Output can be generated and so on. So manage engine event log analyzer. So okay, this is a good thing. We can see a lot of programs we can use as an alternative for the event viewer. Okay, this is a good thing. Uh, it's a good thing to see here. Okay, we can go and continue the video. So here we can see, for example, this is the event viewer. We will open it and see. See, it is now in Windows Tools because it's not administrative tools. In Windows, it's called administrative tools, but now in the recent versions of Windows, it is changed from administrative tools to Windows Tools. Okay, so if there is some differences. So this is the event viewer. I have it already added in my custom console. So this was when the data center, or this was an evaluation, but now it is in the final release, so you can install it safely. Okay, now we see this is one thing. Let me show you all what is this. Okay, so as we can see here, there is something here. Under it, you can see from the right tab, we see that we have, this is the channel, number of events, the size. So this is like a summary. We have a lot of channels. Okay, very long list of channels we can work. We can disable, so most of them maybe are enabled or disabled. So you can disable collecting, for example, events of the DNS server by right click and tell him to disable this. But it is a little bit tricky here. The interface is not that easy, but we will see through Nearsoft programs it is easy to do that, to disable and enable channel collecting or channel events collecting. Let's see this. So this is the folder shared between my virtual machine and my laptop. So I'll copy the program and then try to put it on my D partition in my virtual machine. Now you can open this and run the full or event log channels view. So basically very simple. What you can do, you can just simply This is the channels. You can see green ones and the red ones. The green ones here, for example, this is the application channel. The green one means that this channel is collecting the events, or there is application events collected. So this means that it is activated. You can collect application logs. If you need to disable application log collection, you can just uh, click on it or highlight it and then press the red one. It will disable application log collecting. Okay, or the opposite. If you need to enable, for example, analytical logs, for example, you just click on it or highlight it and then press the green one. So it is very, very simple to enable and disable, and we will see a lot of info, okay, or a lot of things we can do with this program. Okay, so let me show you all. For example, as we can see here, there is a lot of useful information. If I try to open the program, let's first of all, if I try to disable, if I go there and try to why I'm not getting any data. For example, I try to disable the logs. Is there a way to do so? From here, properties, uh, enable logging. It is disabled, or it's dimmed, because I think this is we cannot play with the application or security or system, but I think other things can be disabled. There is properties. Again, I cannot change the options concerning the logging. Why? I don't know. If there is anything I can do. For example, here you go, there is the action. I cannot disable any one of these logs. Why? I don't know. If I do go to security, properties, this can't be do. This is obvious because this is for the security, but if, for example, I go to any of the Microsoft channels, maybe I can disable this one, properties. Again, I cannot play with the enable logging one, maybe because I am the local administrator, but I cannot play with it. If I go to, for example, app v, maybe something like that, if I try to see, for example, like this, properties again, and try to disable it, okay, we can see here I can disable some logs. Here is enabling log, I can disable the logs, but most of the other ones I cannot do. So I think some of these are we are forced to enable them. We cannot change them. I am using my local administrator account. I am the local administrator on the machine. So I think there is some we can enable or disable. Okay, so we can see we can enable it by right click and properties, but in the software it is more simpler than that. If you go and open this one and open the program, just a moment. Here you go, this is the final lab, and we have EPCOM, and we can run this one. So as we can see, I just can click on this one, and then this will enable the selected channel or disable the selected channel. We can see from this one, if you right click, we can see enable and disable, set maximum size for the log retention. We can remember the overwrite events as needed, archive log when full, do not overwrite. Remember these retentions, we have talked about this before in the previous video. Okay, we know how we can overwrite events as needed, archive the logs, do not overwrite, and then view channel. For example, I need to see, for example, but this is disabled, so there is no logs. For example, if I need to see the logs for the phone activity in my on this one, phone activity, view and channels. So there is 0 logs. Okay, I think there is, this is the full event log view. There is no logs. Where is the, if there is any account, there is 0. For example, if me go to 0 alerts, this one, and tell him to view in channel view log. Okay, here you go, these are the logs. Very, very simple. You can see it here. You can copy and paste. Very, very simple. If I go to there and try to do the same, for example, maybe for application, if I go there and try to copy, it will be, if you can see, I cannot copy. Okay, it is very, very a problematic thing to copy the error here. Okay, so as we can see here, this is the program itself, we can see we can have a lot of things here. We can disable the channel, enable set maximum size here for the log size or maximum log size. All of this we can do it from here. Retention, clear the logs, clear all of the logs in this channel. Save selected types, so we can save them here in a lot of formats. The events, we can save it to HTML file, maybe XML file, JSON files, or a lot of things we can do with the logs. If we right click again, copy selected items, customize, okay, properties, we can see all of the info here. This is the file name, so all of these info are displayed in here. Auto backup no, so that means that we have it. What I mean by auto backup and retention, that means that auto backup is no. That means I think it is, let me show the option here. If you right click and retention no, that means overwrite events as needed, which we mean auto backup no, retention no. That means we have it overwrite events as needed. Okay, when we have auto backup as no displayed in the channel, and retention no, that means that we have overwrite events as needed. And if we have auto backup yes and retention yes, that means archive the log when full. Okay, if you have do not overwrite events, auto backup no, and retention yes, then it means do not overwrite events. We will remove them manually. So as we can see, a lot of things we can do with this program. If I try to do the same through the event viewer, for example, if I need to enable and disable the log, this should be done from here, but I don't have this available on the application. Some channels we cannot disable the logging. Let me see if I can do this through the program. If I go there and try to see the application, where is the application? Here is the application. If I right click, okay, I can enable or disable. I don't think this is available or feasible because it is disabled. It is dimmed for me. I think this cannot be done, and I don't need to do that, but you can try, guys, to do that through the program. Okay, let me try to compare. Now we can disable from here. This is the three options for the auto backup and retention. This is the maximum size, this is the log path, this is the size of the log path, created, access, modified. So all of this can be done from this is the clear log. We can do that. So all of this is done from the properties of the log. Okay, and here this is also done from the properties of the log. We can do all of this, but this seems to be easier and contains a lot of useful information, and it is easily displayed than the event viewer. You can see, for example, there is a provider GUID. This is the DLL file that provides this data. Okay, so application, we can see that there is no GUID provider, so there is a couple of things here. Anyway, so we can see this is very easy to work with. We can, for example, see the application logs here. If you go to channel view, okay, now we can open this one. We will try to discover a couple of things here. We can see here is the logs. Okay, we can see a lot of info here. If you go to properties, we can see the event, the record ID, the event ID, informational, the provider, offline, down level, migration succeed. So a lot of useful information we can copy. This is very easy to copy. You can select all and copy. So you can see here now we can copy it easily and search the internet with it. Very simple. You can tell him to show event data plus description. This is a good thing. Auto refresh. A lot of useful things here you can see. This is not that easy. If we go there and try to see that one, we cannot copy, as you have seen before. It's not that easy to do. If you double click on it, if we can copy, we cannot copy. I cannot copy. You can copy from here, but it will copy all of this info. Okay, but I need only to copy the error. Okay, anyway, so this is very quick uh, uh, going through the program or the software. So for example, I'm trying to disable or enable a channel. So as we can see here, it is already enabled. Now we can disable it again through the red one. So you can see a lot of useful information. I have shown you guys all of them. So we can see the file name, if it is this enabled or enabled this channel. We have seen the maximum size of the file. It is reached or not. Does it reach the maximum log size? No, it didn't reach it. For example, one of them have reached the maximum log size. The channel, okay, the type of information included in the logs. We have the channel. This is for the application, for the system. This is the channel, and this is the type of data. Okay, auto backup and retention. We have seen these two. Event count. We have seen here is some event counts. How much every channel contains some events. The oldest record. I don't think what is the oldest record here. What we mean by the oldest record. If we go and try to see what is the oldest record, let me oldest record. Where is the oldest record here? For example, I'll try to see this one. Properties. Something called the oldest record number one. Okay. Record number one. So it's the oldest record. It is numbered one. Okay. We have seen this is the maximum size 20. Okay. Channel type, and we have a lot of useful information and the location of the file. So let's continue. So you have seen a lot of things here, the retention and all of these. And now we have one thing to do. If I don't need to have one thing I didn't discuss here, if I need to see only the channels that have events, I can tell him from the options, okay, hide the channels with 0 events. Okay, so we can do this. It will give us only the channels that have events. So now we can see all of the channels that have events. This is easy for me to see. Okay, if you need all of the channels, then you can right click or just uncheck this option. Okay, so this is thing. If we go and continue, let's continue like this one. I have already discussed all of these. One of the things here that you can see a summary of the channels. This is already you have seen this before, and I think here I am comparing. Now we can see all of these are from here. If we continue, okay, directory, now we can see, or this is how you can view a channel. The right click, and there is something here we need to see here. Let me show you all something here. Again, if we go and see, for example, applications and then view log, okay, now what we can do, we can see from here that we can have some options. For example, like let me show you all here something like advanced options. Now there's a couple of things here. You can in this channel view the critical errors, the warnings, the information, verbose undefined. These are events for 7 days. You can make it more than that. You can make it for 8 days, for 9 days. Okay, you can see it or define the events or the top events or how much events are displayed for 7 days. You can make it from a certain date to a certain date. You can tell him to show all events, or you can specify certain events. You can type the event then comma, for example, 4625, then event, so on. So you can define which events you need to show if you need to do that. The comma delimited list, you can do that, or do not show, so you can see some events, or do not show some events. Okay, so this can be done here. Show all providers, we have known what is all of the providers. Now we have this is the name of the channel. Okay, it's application, so you can do a lot of things from this interface. The same can be done from the event viewer, but here I think you should go. How we can play with this one? Go to the properties. We don't have here how much events for how many days. This is not displayed here. Okay, and I think we don't have this availability. If I try to see, uh, okay, let's see for the properties. We cannot do a lot of things actually here. We cannot do this. Okay, just it's very simple. At the other time we can know, we can filter. So this, you can create the log, you can filter. Okay, so you can filter the events, which is the things like this one, something like this. You can do something like this. Sorry guys, if you go to there and go to the options, this is like the filter. Okay, so we can do a filtering. This is equivalent to this one. Okay, so we can go to the event viewer and we can do the same one from here. We can filter critical, so and so, logged anytime. You have a lot of ranges, 12, 24, 7, 30, a lot of things. We can choose the source or the providers. Okay, we have the events. You can type them actually also as comma delimited. For example, I can type 4625, then comma. So we can do this here, but from this one. So the same, you can see, you can do the same options from the event viewer, but I think the Nearsoft is easier. Okay, you can see XML to provide an event filter in XML path, edit the query, so you can filter using XML language. Okay, so anyway, so this is also how you can do this from the event viewer, and how you can do this from the full event log view. Okay, so this can be done easily if we go. And another thing actually I need to say here, you can also save the events. As we have seen before, we can save it as a lot of extensions. Okay, so this is also one good thing to see. Just a moment guys, what I'm talking about here, where is this? Okay, so we can continue. Okay, so again I am comparing both. Okay, I've already seen this, we have seen this thing before, and we can see the errors. It is displayed at the top or at the bottom of the screen. This is easy. Okay, and just comparing both of them, and again we can see a couple of things here. Services. Okay, so uh, there is a couple of services, I think we have discussed this before. There is a couple of services that if they are not running, you will not be able to record any events at all. Okay, if we go to see these things, let me show you all this events or this services. If I tell him run and then services, okay, we have a couple of services. If you go to Windows, okay, we have Windows log collector. If you are having a centralized logging server, we have event log, we have font cache, we have this the three, 1, 2, 3. These three, if they are not running, you will not be able to collect logs, especially this one and this one, these two. Okay, they are very important. Okay, for managing events and event logs. Okay, so this is very critical. Okay, so this is one thing. If you go and continue with the video, so we can go further. Okay, here you go. These are the event log collectors and so on. So if we continue with our video, This is for collector. If you have or planning to have a centralized server for logging, you should have this enabled, this service enabled on the log collector server. You can see here that who generate events, applications, Windows operating system, services, Windows local security authority. This is related to security events. This two for the security events, this two for the system events, this one for the application events. So again, channels installed by Windows cannot be deleted and are independent of any event publisher. You cannot delete them. You cannot even disable collecting logs for these three. I tried to do it from the event viewer, but it didn't succeed. I think in Nearsoft I can see the option, but can it be disabled? So if you can through Nearsoft disable the application logging, try to do that, guys, because I do not want to do it in my production environment. Okay. So again, we can see here, this is the summary. We have the application, number of events, the size, and security, the size, number, and so on. So again, here we can see some things here. Application, events for all user level application. This channel is not secure and is open to any application. So any application can write or submit its events to this channel. It is not secure, okay? So you have access, any application can have access to this section in the event viewer, okay? And for the system, this channel used by application running under system service accounts, installed system services, driver or component or application that have events that are related to the health of the computer system. So this is normal. We have discussed this before. And we have the security. We know that the Windows audit log, this event log is for exclusive use of the Windows local security authority. User events may appear as audits if supported by the underlying application. This is basically for security events. I think the Windows Local Security Authority, it is the program responsible for managing the user's login process, or maybe the login credentials. Okay, I think. Okay, so this is a good thing to know. And we have one thing, which was the setup. Actually, I didn't know what it was before. Message generated when installing and upgrading the operating system. If the Windows system is a domain controller, those messages are also logged here. Okay, so when you promote the server to be a domain controller, this will be in the setup section. And if you upgrade, I think this is upgrade, not for the upgrading of the operating system, not the updating. Okay, so this can also be included in the setup section. And this event forward, if you are intending to make this a centralized logging server, you should configure the forward events. Okay, event forward by other computers when the local machine is functioning as a central subscriber or a central logging server. Okay, so this is very simple. The type of events: critical events that demand the immediate attention of the system administrator. They are generally directed at the global system-wide level, such as system or application. This can also be used to indicate that an application or system has failed or stopped responding. This is critical. Or crashed. Error events that indicate problems but in a category that does not require immediate attention. Okay, warning events that provide forewarning of potential problems, although not a response to an actual error. A warning indicates that a component application is not at its idle state and that some further actions could result in a critical error. Information is a successful event, an event that describes the successful operation of an application, driver, or service. Success audit, an event that records an audited security access attempt that is successful. For example, a user's successful attempt to log on to the system is logged as a successful audit event. Failure event, an event that records an audited security attempt that fails. For example, if a user tries to access so and so, the fail attempt. So just wait for a moment, guys. So let's continue, guys. Here, this is the kind of or event type. And there is the programs or event log, viewers, monitoring, and analyzation. So all of these are uh, viewers and monitoring and analyzers. So the event viewer is not an analyzer, it is a viewer, and it is not, I think, a live monitoring. Okay, so it's only a viewer. And there is a couple like monitoring. I don't know which one of them is the monitoring. I think most of them like manage engine, event log analyzer. It is a monitoring and analyzer and the viewer. So the three. You can see this couple of softwares, for example, like this one, Logdana, Datadog, Logstash. So we can, I think, view events from the event viewer. We can do this from the PowerShell. We can view and monitor and analyze through, for example, Microsoft Azure monitoring, something like portable programs, okay, or agents if they are. It is a system on the cloud. So for example, you have a system on the cloud that uh, monitor logs, okay, through agents installed in your premises or on your local environment or on-premise environment. So this can be through cloud dashboards or software dashboards. All of these are programs they can use to monitor and view and analyze events of the operating system. I will, with God will, I will try to explain one of these programs, not Splunk, but something called Wazoo. I'll try to make a separate lab for it, okay, because I think it's a good one. Okay, anyway, so these are a couple of programs for viewing, monitoring, and analyzing events. So also there is, if you need to see an event ID and search it through the internet, you can do this through a couple of online websites. I will show you all how you can do that. But again, you can see here from the event viewer, you can not only see the logs of the current local server or machine, but you can connect to another computer and see its event. So for example, I try now to, from my event viewer console on my primary domain controller, to connect and see the events on my secondary domain controller. Okay. So this can also, I think, be done from the program of I think Nearsoft. Okay, if we can do this and tell him to choose data source, I think maybe yes, you can tell him to connect to a remote, load events from this computer or from a remote computer. Okay, and also you can give him specific logs. Okay, logs from external folder with log files, from a single log file, events from specified computers. This is the one for the remote computer. So this can be done from here, and I think also from here. You can tell him to choose data source, and the same applies if you need to connect for a remote computer. So this can be done for both. And another thing here, I think, is to give him the password to connect to the computer or to the remote computer. If this is also the case here, okay, I think you should, no, there is no, okay, give him the username and the password again. So the only thing here different than the event viewer that I have already logged in with the domain admin account. So he'll use my current credentials to connect to the events or to extract the events or to view the events on my additional domain controller, which the domain admin have access to it, okay, or permissions to access it, okay. Now we can see a lot of things here. This is the overview and summary. Let me show you here. So you can have a couple of things to get from something like that. If you go and try to give you a little overview, if I go there and go to the logs, okay, let me think. I think we can go to the event viewer. Okay, here is the summary of administrative events. Uh, okay, this is the critical errors. So this is like a summary for all of the critical errors, I think, on uh, uh, all of the events. So this is like a custom view, I think, for the critical errors from all of the I think the channels. So we have create critical errors we have errors. So we see that the errors, for example, something related to DHCP C instance for this event. Okay, we can see, I think this is related to the DHCP log. Okay, we can see it is provided from the DHCP client events. Okay, so it is not in the application. Okay, so that means it gets all of the errors. If we go further again to the section, get all of the errors, critical errors and warning information from all of the channels. Okay, so this is like a summary. We can see here the last hour, last 24 hours, 7 days. We can see here this is 7 days. Can we play with this thing? I don't know if we can play it from here. Now we can see recent view notes. So for example, if I try to open the security, okay, then if I go again there, he will give me that I have already logged into the security section. Okay, and we have something called log summary. We can see every one of these, the system, the current size, modified, enabled. So something like we can see from here. This is, remember, we can, this is like we can see it from here. Okay, it's also like a summary, the same. So we can see all of this from here and all of this data. Okay, this is a couple of things you can do. A custom view, I think we have done this before, the logins and a lot of things. So this is one of the things. Okay, we can go further here. So we have seen this one, and we have seen the events or the, okay, I think I have already done this. We have seen the summary again. So one of the good things, okay, that you can do for any event in the event viewer, if for example go to this and tell him, for example, attach task to this event, you can tell him to, for example, run a script, for example, when this event happens, a successful event. For example, if you need to run a specific script after a successful event happening on the operating system, this can be done from this section, attach task to this event. If I go to here, when it is logged, okay, the action, okay, start a program, send an email, it was depreciated, display, this was depreciated. I can only start a program, okay, or a script. Through this script you can send an email, okay, so you can, or display a message. This can be done from the program, okay, and finish at the end. This will create a scheduled task, okay, that will run when this event happens. Okay, so this is also a good thing to note. If you go further, so if you go further back, okay, okay, so we can go again. Okay, information. I think we have seen already something like this custom views. I have already shown you all how we can do that. And if you go further, uh, okay, can continue back, continue, and okay, I think this is R for all the events. Okay, and the last thing, let me go to, or let me stop at this thing, and let me show you something here from the slides concerning this thing. If I go further, let me show you all something here concerning some troubleshooting steps. If we need to, for example, the PowerShell commandlet to get the events. Okay, if we go further, let me show you something here. I think we can go, here is the event troubleshooting uh, uh, issues or recommendation. Let me continue back when I come, guys. Just wait for a moment. So let's continue, guys. Here is some event troubleshooting tips. First of all, you need to, for example, focus on critical errors and warnings. But I think the most one is the critical ones you need to focus on. So if you have an event, for example, how you can search the internet for it, you need to see the source of the event. I think this is the provider or the event log provider source and the event ID. You can search the internet with both data. So you cannot, for example, search the event without the source. I think you can search with the event ID, but I prefer to be more specific. You can search with both, so you have an accurate result. So if you continue with the video, so for example, this is the administrative events. We can take one of the events as an example. First of all, here you can see some filtered events. For example, how we can filter the events. Okay, here this is a filtered or this is a custom view uh, with filtered events in it. So this is very simple. This is a way you can make custom or the background behind a custom view. It is only a window that contains filter events. This is the custom views. So if we continue and see, so we can see here this is the source and the event. Now, for example, this is an error. For example, 282087. This is an error for the Active Directory. I think this is the RPC client. So we can search. This is the Active Directory. So this is the error. It was from this service. Okay. One of the things you need to see the dependencies of this service. Does this service depend on other services to work properly? This is the first thing. So maybe one of the other services have an issue, so it has affected this service. And another thing, what other services depend on this service? Because if, for example, this service have an error, the other services will encounter error. So you see the dependencies. This is one of the things. Okay, so for example, we can see here that this service does not depend on any service, but other services depend on it. For example, DFS replication. If this service is not running, this is Active Directory Domain Services, you will see replication errors, you will see DNS errors, you will see inter-site messaging or replication between sites, Kerberos key distribution center. So this is a very critical service. If it is not working properly, all of these services will not work. The following system components depend on this service. Okay, so the first thing we need to know, if we have an error from a certain service, let's see if it depends on some services. So maybe the other services have the issue, so it has affected this service. Okay, so let's continue. So for example, we can see here that the background task infrastructure service depends upon RPC endpoint mapper, remote procedure call. So this is one of the things, remote procedure call, RPC endpoint mapper, DCCOM server process launcher. All of these, okay, this service depend on. So if there is anything wrong with these services, it will affect this service. So best thing to know the event, it was generated from what service, and the dependencies of this service, we should check it. So again, one of the things here is you can search the internet for these errors from, for example, if you go further, let me show you one of the websites. So for example, this is a DNS error. You can search it from uh, a website. I think this is the TechNet, or let's wait for a moment and see the screenshot. So as you can see here, this is the TechNet. Okay, so you can search for related event IDs. You can go to TechNet and search for DNS server events IDs. So this is good. Okay, okay. I think we can. Let me see how we can do this. If we can go Microsoft TechNet, Microsoft Soft TechNet. Okay, website. So we can see where is the TechNet. I cannot see the TechNet here anyway. So where is the TechNet? So we can see here from the view. If we go further down, okay, where is the TechNet? Microsoft TechNet. Here you go. This is the TechNet. Okay, DNS related events ID. Okay, I think here this is not what I'm seeking here. This is not the TechNet. I think let me go further back and see, maybe there is another website. Sorry guys. TechNet platforms. Okay, let me see here. Where is this website? Social. Sorry. Social TechNet, contents, articles, wiki. Okay, let's see, maybe TechNet wiki. Okay, maybe this is it. No, this is not the TechNet wiki. Maybe this is. Okay, let's see that. No, don't think so. This is for the TechNet. I'm not able to see where it is exactly. So say this is TechNet wiki, the commission TechNet wiki. So anyway, it was moved and we never felt a thing. Okay, anyway, so we'll see that we can search for IDs, okay, from other websites, very famous websites. So for example, I can search a certain website for some events in the events in the Windows. Okay, event ID source. So I'm searching for a certain event from the Copilot AI. So let's continue here. Let's see. Okay, so we have, you can search, for example, in Ultimate Windows Security website that contains some of the most important events in the Windows and their description. So as we can see here, the AI can display a couple of things here. Explain in simple terms. So here, for example, I'm telling him to explain this ID. So you can ask AI tools to explain certain IDs and their meaning. Okay. For example, this event 479 is like a note that your computer makes when someone changes its security rules. Like if you have a house rule that no shoes is inside and someone changes it to shoes are allowed inside, your computer would take a note of who made the change. So this is a simple description of the event. So if you continue, it is important you want to make sure that only trusted people are changing the rules and that they are not making any changes that could put your computer at risk. So if you see event 417 or 4719, it means some security rules on computer have been changed. If you didn't expect any change, it's a good idea to check what was changed and why. Very, very simple. AI tools have done a lot of work concerning the searching and explanation of things. So you can search websites or you can simply tell the AI tools to explain it. Okay. So if there are any other websites, we can search the internet for certain IDs. You can search, as I said before, Ultimate. There is a site called Ultimate Windows Security. This is Bard. You can ask it the same question. If we give him the same prompt here, okay, or the same explaining this event in simple terms, the same, okay. So again, if you continue, ChatGPT analyze these events anyway. So this is also thing. This is a website that you can uh, enter the event ID, and he will get you the error or the explanation. It's called NetSurgeon or NetSurgeon or NetSurion. This is one of the things, and you have also another website is called Ultimate Windows Security. So this is it. As you can see here, this is security logs Windows. So you can search any event if you go to Windows here. Sources for security. For example, if I go to security here, and we can see here there's a quick reference or a free quick reference for the events. For example, all of the events and what does they mean exactly. Let me see. I am curious just to see this one. Download the free chart, user accounts. So this feature, user account change, group changes, domain control authentication events, Kerberos failure events, login session events, login type explained. Anyway, encyclopedia. So this is, I think, for the security events only. Okay, we can see here, we can search for the event, for example, 4719 and go. Now you can see this system audit policy was changed. So you can see this from here or through near or Nisrion, I think. Nerson. Okay, this is it. Is it called Net Soron net Soron event tracker. Here it is. Okay, I think this is net Soron. Okay, here is the net surgeon. Okay, I think here to see back. If we go for net Soron. Okay, I think here it is. What is event tracker? I think this is the program. Okay. Okay. Anyway, no, this is not the thing. Let's search on websites. Okay, I think this is the source. Here you go. This is it. Okay, here you go. This is, you can search for events. Okay, here you go. This is are all the events. If you go again back, I think event tracker login. Okay, online help. Event source. I think this is it, maybe. So you can search for events, I think here in a little bit online help, I think maybe. Or anyway, so if you go to the website or see, it is KB event tracker. So let's see, net senior event tracker knowledge base. Knowledge base. I think maybe this is one. Okay. So here you go. This is the knowledge base. Okay, you can just save it here. Now you can enter the ID, for example, 4719, and you can search it. This is not related only to Windows, to Linux and Macintosh, or a lot of things here. So you can get a lot of activity. So for example, here you can get events, Windows events, you can get antivirus, Veritas, Cisco, Syslogs, Dell, VMware. So you can get a lot of events, okay, search here, and we can see any, for example, maybe application. This is for group policy or whatsoever. We can see there is security, so you can, for example, get, for example, the security, okay, or any other thing. Okay, so this is a good thing to know. We continue. So this is one thing, very good thing. Okay, we can continue. I've seen, or I told you how you can get to the security, IT, ultimate IT security, and you can see the explanation. Okay, a lot of things actually. And the last thing is the troubleshoot tips. Analyze before and after events to determine relationships. So if an event happened, for example, on day number 7, or for example 7 of November, then you need to see the events in 6 of November and the events of 8th of November to make sure that you can relate the events. Maybe the event that happens at 7th of November was because of an event happened in 6th of November. Look of a chain of events that are related in a defined sequence. That, for example, I will show you all when you use the AI tools to create events that are related. For example, maybe a failed login attempt because the domain controller, or because of a network issue that our domain controller is not available. Okay, or something like that. We need to relate the events. Ignore non-related events, filtering out the noise. It's a big step to find the right events to analyze. Thoughtful, implement corrections to avoid solve one thing and break another. Make sure when you are solving problems not to break anything and solve anything. Make sure you have a backup plan. Every step you do, you should have a retrieve step, or you can undo what you have done. Okay, and make sure to always have a backup and make sure that the steps will not do any damage. One step, as we said before, to make sure you can undo what you have done, a backup process, or some script to undo what you have done, anything, okay? So if you find yourself frustrated and feeling stupid sorting through uh, whatsoever events and not seeing the problem, relax. We have all gone through it. So if we continue, now I'm shutting down the, 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 the virtual environment. So by this we have finished the discussing of the event viewer and some of the most important third-party utilities to act or to be an alternative for the event viewer. In the upcoming videos, we will discuss real-world scenarios or cases generated by the different AI tools to help us to see how using the event viewer and seeing the different events and interpreting them will help us to solve problems. So wait for the upcoming video. With God will, we will ask Claude and ChatGPT to generate events and use the event viewer to solve these problems or solving these events. Hope this video informative for you all. Thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.